Hi everybody, this is Ellen. I have another tutorial for you, and this time it's going to be for my S-curve bracelet. I think it's a pretty cute, unique bracelet. It's made on 5-pin bars, offset pattern. I will have a 1 loom version available too. It's just kind of a, I kind of see, I guess turn it this way, kind of see an S in there, and so that's how I'm getting the S-curve. Plus I kind of been trying to find ways to make a wavy bracelet like my other wave one, which is a very difficult bracelet to break down to make it on smaller looms. But you can see here that I have many different styles that I've done. The first one I made was this one right here. I added the beads to the center, and then the only thing that I found as I went along was that this center piece that I have, or the center single chain that I have in here, we definitely want to make that the color of what I'm going to be calling the primary or the main color. We want that to be the same color, because otherwise it kind of pokes out. I mean, don't have to, but to get more of the definite S kind of pattern, that needs to be the same color. And then like in this one too, I use white for the center for some reason. I don't think I really realized that the center really mattered. So to show you that, this one is just, I used yellow all the way around it and then orange in the center, so I mean it looks almost totally different than the other ones where I do half and half colors. I really like this one as well with the colors. But I'll show you how to make this. I'll show you how to add the beads if you want to do that. It's pretty simple to do that. You can get 4 of these on 1 loom. I found that I only need 7, which kind of stinks because the pattern then, if you see here, it doesn't match up. So if you can get an even number, I would probably try and go that way. Because I'd actually, when I make these again, or when I get a moment, I'm going to add another one to this just so it has an even pattern. And it's not super loose if I have the whole 8, but like if you're a kid, probably 6, so then you'd be able to have that pattern around would work for you. I'll show you how to do this. It's not too hard, just a little different banding, I guess. So like I said, 5-pin bars, offset. Really it just needs to be, we're going to do this on a slant right here, so I just left it in this pattern so that people who have the looms that connect side by side, you can find this in there, so then you can make this too. But it's just 1 normal setup loom and then 2 more over. But you could have it in a slanted pattern. If you have the rainbow loom, you can take your loom apart and put it in a slanted pattern. That works well too. But let's get started. First you kind of want to decide which one is going to be your primary color. And this one, my gray, is the primary color. So just kind of keep that in mind as we go along, because I'll mention that for certain things. And then this is the, not the primary, but secondary color, I guess. So, and in my bracelet that I'm going to make, my green is going to be my primary color. So we're going to start in the center, and we're going to go over to the right 2 with my primary color, and then up 1, and then back to the left 2. And you of course can make this any color you want, but I just wanted to be able to show how I got the kind of more defined outside or primary color in there. So primary color, and then we're going to do this up the other side with the secondary color, the same pattern, 2 to the left, 1 up, then 2 back towards the right. And then this time we're going to just carry this color up and over. So the secondary color, just keep going over to the right 2, up 1, and then back to the left 2. like that. Then we'll come back and do our primary color. The same pattern. We're just kind of making goofy hexagon shapes here. And then with this primary color, we're just going to go up and around. Then come back to this pin here and we'll do the secondary color. And that'll go up and around again. And then my primary color. So like that. Then you can add, actually we'll wait and add that in a minute. And then we'll come back to the beginning. And then what we're going to do is just fill up the sides here with a partial starburst. Like in these I just use the same color as the outside, so I'm going to make these green and the ones over here blue. So from this pin right here, we're just going to go out to this one, this pin, this one, and this one. Just like that. And then on the other side, do the same thing. Like that. And just repeat that in the other ones. And it doesn't really matter if you start where you start laying the bands, because they're not directional bands. So I can start down here, it'd be the same thing. Alright, so there's those. Now we'll come back to the beginning, and all we're basically going to do is just lay a single chain up the center. However, if you're going to do like the primary and secondary color thing, or if you care if you see the band color in between here, there's a couple things that you'll want to do to make that less noticeable, I've found anyways. And what you want to do is think about it that most of this is going to be your primary color. So if green's my primary color, I'll start with green, but then the next band, or the middle band in this hexagon here, I want it to be my secondary color. Because if you look at this, the middle bands, which are the secondary colors of this little spot right here, if we have those the same color, it helps to kind of hide that there's something going through there in the middle. So this will be my secondary color, then my main color for the next two, secondary color, main color, main color, secondary, main, main, secondary, and main color. Now we can put an end cap here, main color if you want to be so. I triple wrap them so it kind of hides it a little bit better. So like that. So now what we're going to do actually is we're going to start some of the looming process before we do some of the other things. So we'll turn our loom around and we'll loom up the center of this. And I'll show you how I'd put the beads on. You don't have to add the beads, but if you want them, I'll show you how to do it. So we'll start by going through our end cap, grabbing that top band that should come up through the center, and grabbing the next one. And then if you want a bead, of course it won't fit on that one, you can slide a bead onto a hook or however you want to do it. Go ahead and slide that on through both bands and then just put that back on top. And I'll show you again in the next one. Then you just keep looming up the center. And if you don't want beads, you just loom all the way up to the end. So again, we'll add another bead. Of course, I want to put my bead on my hook first. Like that. Loom up some more. Put the bead on. And then the last bead. And to the end here. And I will say too that with the beads, this does get kind of, it's not super tight while we're looming or anything like that, but it's not a very big space. So I noticed that the pony beads fit fine, but these beads and this one, which are a little bit bigger, they will, or in some of them, they kind of pop out towards one side of the bracelet or the other, which is kind of a cool effect, you know, for a profile wise, if you have the kind of the right beads to do it. But too big beads, and I think that they will just kind of pop out too much and you might not like the effect of it. But just a little tip, these are the 9mm pony beads so that I'm using here. Alright, so now for the fun part. We're going to basically add the center bands that help with the around, keeping this around part, I guess. And how we'll do that is we'll start, I guess it doesn't matter where we start, but here I'm on the wrong side of the loom. I'm just going to take off these center two bands that are on the pins here. We want them to stay on these two pins. So try and keep those on there. If they pop off, it's not too hard to put them back on. But so now we're going to want to take, you can use however many bands you want for this. I'm using 3. I kind of like the way that looks in them, I guess. You could probably do 2, and that would probably work as well. So we'll do our primary color first. You just want to lay them over the primary color starburst side here, and you're going to take your hook underneath this single chain, grab all 3 of those bands and pull them over and trap like that. Now, because I like a little more room, now I haven't broken any bands doing this, so I like a little more room, so I usually stretch this kind of back over the pins so I can see what I'm doing. So this is my primary color. And then the secondary color, we'll do the same thing. Put 3 bands, or however many you want, but I'm going to say 3, over that pin. Make sure you kind of keep them there. Reach under, grab all 3 of them. And if you have a bead, this is where you want it trapped in between. Oops. So like that. So now we have the small color, which is like on this one is the salmon I have here. That's this color here. The large color is my green. So that's kind of big, and then the small color goes in between those. So we'll just do that again in the other ones. And then you have to remember that because this kind of curves around and we change where the color is, your main color is going to be on the other side now. So you'll start on that side instead. So just pop these off in the middle. Go underneath, grab those bands. Cat hair. It's cats, I swear, they're everywhere. Grab those bands and pull it up and over and put it back on the pin. And then, like I said, I kind of like to have a little room, so I usually just stretch these back over. So 3 more bands. Put your hook underneath. Trap the bead if you have one. And then over. So like that, that's the next one. And we'll just repeat that again. Take these off the middle. Go underneath. And you don't have to do the stretching out thing that I do. I find it makes it a little easier. Now the secondary color. Like so. And then the last one. So under, grab the bands. Pull them over. I'm going to make some room. And my other 3 bands. Take them over. So like that. So now those are done. So we go to the wrong side of the loom here, away from the red arrow, and we're going to loom out the starburst parts here. And this will be our, for this side, our primary side, that's, I guess, it's bigger for me. I just go through this whole area and loom out, and when I go over here, I'll just be in this little space. Although I can move this over if I want to. But so loom all these out. Just top band, pull it back towards itself. Like that. And then if you want more room over here, you can just switch sides a little bit, or however you want to do that. So I got a little more room. just like that. Then we just repeat that in the other ones. Alright, so once you have those, now we'll loom up the outsides. And with this one, there is kind of a little special thing you want to do to make sure that with the S, that it's on kind of the top more. It's not a huge deal, you can just loom up each one as you go along. But I'll just show you what I did that I thought kind of helped make that, like in this one, the gray more apparent. So my top band is my primary color, so I'll loom that one over, but I'm actually going to stop here because I want my primary color to be on top wherever possible. So we'll come back, grab the other side, loom that up, and then once you get it up there, come back and do this other band. So now my primary color is on top, or a little bit more on top than being buried underneath more blue. So now we'll go in here again to this spot and we'll loom up my secondary color, and we can loom that one all the way up to the top pin. Like that. Then we'll come back and do the other color, which is my primary. And this one we can actually just keep on going around because it should be the next one down here in the middle. So just keep going and then stop at the pin right before the end. So stop here, come back here, grab your secondary color, or this side, loom it up to the top, come back here and grab this other band. Make sure you always come back. I didn't once, that was no fun. And then we have our last one. So we'll do this is the secondary color on top. We do this all the way to the end. And then come back and do the other side. So like that. So that's everything loomed. We can take this off the loom now. I'd go back and loosen up some of these bands. Just helps so they don't pull out or kind of poke out as after you're done. You have to try and stretch it to get them back in there. Alright. So we'll take this off. So it's your hook in the open part. Just pull it off. I don't know why I forgot these ones. So here's what I have. And hopefully you can notice a little bit, but the green, which is my primary color, does stand out a little bit more than the blue does. You can see how the beads are trapped in there. Then you can kind of see too how our banding, some of them I might have to pull a little bit to get closer, but we have the green primary color here, then on over here, and then our blue, which is the secondary color, is in the middle. So it kind of helps just create that illusion. Not necessary, but I thought I'd show you the little tricks that I had found with that. So, and then for extending this, same exact loom setup as before, except what you're going to have to figure out when you do this is that if you do two full ones like I'm going to do, you can just lay it in exactly the same way you took it off, that you had it before. So I had my blue first and then my green here. You can just lay it exactly like that, color-wise, up the loom. If you need less of them, if you only need 6, you're going to want to consider where, if you do the primary and secondary color thing for the S, you'll have to consider where that's going to be when you connect it. And what I mean is, like, when I connect this here, my green goes up this way from the bracelet, and the blue goes up this way. So when you do your extension, if you only need 2, you'll have to kind of figure that out, what color you need to have on what side so that it matches up with the rest of it. So we'll extend this. We'll come in here a little bit. And what we'll do is, I'll actually take this band off, and I'll put the first 2 bands onto the pin, which are the bottom perimeter bands. And then you might as well just put the next 2 bands on, which are the middle single chain. So then you'll have the top perimeter bands left. And I'm just going to stretch them over to this pin to keep them out of the way for now. So I'll put this back on. And if you want, you can switch put the band underneath here. So put that single back on, then put the other 2 bands back on top, which you probably should do anyways. So get your single chain from before on top of this band right here. And then again, we're going to loom up the center first. So you go in through here, grab that middle band, pull it up, and if you're going to do the beads again, you put those on too. And you just do exactly what we did before for the entire bracelet. Okay, so I have all the insides done, so now we're back to the beginning here, and I still have these bands hanging off to the side. So we can just put those back on top. Just make sure here. So like that. And that'll work with the, actually, I want to switch these around. You probably don't have to, but I'm going to, so that I have my primary color on top, which is my green. So what we're going to do is loom up the outside like before. I'm going through here, grab the top band, which is my primary, and go almost all the way up to the top. And remember, if you're not doing the primary secondary color, you just can loom up to here and then do the other ones. We'll come back and do our secondary color all the way to the top. Come back into the other band on the other side that we left. And go ahead and go up the right side all the way to the top. Like that. Then come back and we'll do this color all the way up to this pin. Make sure to grab this band we left and just finish it off. There we go. So everything's done. Just going to loosen up some of the bands again. And we'll take this off. Put a clip in. And there we have it. Looks pretty good. Extension's good. My band is just a little goofy. And then with the 8, it's kind of a loose, low-hanging wrist one, so it's not too bad with the 8. And then you'll see how if you have the even number, the colors match up correctly. So, this is my S-curve bracelet. I hope you like it. I think it's rather fabulous. Kind of unique. I haven't seen anything like it, so that's always very cool to me when I come up with something. You can try it with the beads or without the beads. Both ways look pretty cool. And as always, if you have any questions, make sure that you let me know so that I can help you. I do my best to figure out anything that you're having problems with. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can see when I'm coming out with new stuff. Tell your friends, that would be super cool too. And send me your pictures of your finished stuff onto my Instagram. Thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it. keep watching and I'll keep putting some more stuff out.